Welcome to our first general meeting. It's great to see so many faces out there. Really excited about this year. So today we'll go over the structure of our organization, a little bit about our history, and we'll introduce you to a few of the officers, and then we'll go into detail about our projects. And lastly, we'll wrap things up with how you can get more involved. So Engineers Without Borders is actually an international organization. We are part of Engineers Without Borders USA, which was founded in 2002, so it's about 11 years old. And it's become one of the biggest and most respected engineering organizations in the country. There are student chapters as well as professional chapters. And this video is just a little bit about the motivation for Engineers Without Borders overall.
We can do it, we can help the community.
Well, I will organize the people to help me so that we will plan.
It's more than just a project. It's a empowerment of people working together.
The world is bigger. You can go out there and make a difference.
What's important to us is relationships. And as we travel through together side by side, each in our own vessel.
Obviously all of you have made it to this meeting, so you're considering joining our group. And this is a video made by some students who graduated a few years ago about what you can get out of being a member of Engineers Without Borders. Alright, so now that hopefully you've been convinced that it's worth your time to join Engineers Without Borders, I'll talk about the structure of our chapter. There we go. This is the timeline of our chapter here at Texas A&M. In 2006, some mysterious guy named Daniel got a bunch of money together, went on a trip to Uganda, but never really shared with anyone what exactly happened, and the chapter kind of died out. Then, about 2 years later, a student here decided to revive the organization and started working with the chapter at the school down the road in Austin. Where he went on an implementation trip with them to build a well in Mexico. And from that, he was able to use his experience to recruit some new members who got our first international project started here, which was building a library in Acuña, Mexico. And that year we also started doing local projects, building a shed for Stone Ranch. The next year we got more corporate donations, we expanded further, and added on our project in Costa Rica, which is still going today. As well as expanded local projects even further to things like Children's Museum and Scotland's House. And that brings us to today. As I said before, my name is Lakshmi and I'm the president. I have two vice presidents, Chris Kirkland, who's in charge of projects, way up there, and Sean, who is in charge of development. So the development side of our organization basically keeps us running day to day. They do things like raising funding so we can have all of these great projects around the world, keeping track of our money, making videos to promote the organization, and just informing people about what we do. And then the project side, which you'll be hearing a lot about tonight, has our international project, which is in Costa Rica, as well as several local projects, which we will also be discussing. And Chris, do you want to say a few words about potentially adding our next international project?
Howdy. Howdy. All right, so as she just told you, we are going to be adding a new international project this semester to our current stable of projects. The paperwork for that is still ongoing. There's a lot of stuff that has, a lot of foundation that has to be laid down before we can actually bring people on board and get work going. But if you want to get involved with maybe one of the smaller local projects, or just keep coming to general meetings and wait on it, we will have a project opening in Nicaragua this semester, probably in a little town called Fantasma. It'll be some structures work as well as possibly some wastewater work. So that will be an option for all of you, and it's a great experience to be able to join EWB when there's a new project opening and really commit to it from the very beginning and see it through for 4 years. That's a really awesome experience, and it's not something very many people get to do. So keep that in mind when you're trying to decide what groups you want to join. is that it could be a really neat opportunity. And because it's a new project, there won't be anybody ahead of you when it comes in down time to picking travel teams, so you have a better chance of traveling with this group.
All right, cool. Thank you, Chris. And our chapter here has had a lot of success in the past. We've been the Student Organization of the Year at Texas A&M for 2 years in a row. We've also been named as like the best chapter in our region for 2 years in a row. And last year we were named the premier student chapter for all of Engineers Without Borders USA. So basically, out of all the student chapters in the entire country, we are the ones who are most closely aligned with what Engineers Without Borders is trying to accomplish. So that was like a really fantastic thing for us to achieve, and I'd like to see us continuing that this year. We also invest very heavily in the development of our members. So we do things like sending people to conferences, which is shown in some of these pictures. We have tours to construction sites or other places in the local area that might be interesting to learn about as engineers. We have retreats where we train all of our officers. And we also do general training on things like how to test water for bacteria or how to survey land, so that you can get a lot of skills that you may not get in the classroom, especially if you're not civil engineering. We work very hard, but we also have a lot of fun. So these are some pictures from some of our socials. We've done things like potlucks and ice skating, pumpkin carving. So you'll get to know the other people in the organization very well in addition to working side by side with them. And so now we'll get to the heart of our presentation, which is projects. Brian, let's do it again.
Howdy. Howdy. I'm Ryan Priest. There's also another guy named Brian Skinner. He's about this tall. He was wearing a red shirt earlier, and we're the project leads of Costa Rica. And here's a little bit of what we do. We went on a implementation trip in August to pour a foundation and then set up 3 large water storage tanks connecting into the existing water system to supply water during the day. The section of pipeline after this point was running out of water in the day, and we calculated stuff out and we found this was the best option in collaboration with the community. Here's a video of it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. That was the project that just happened. We've done several others. We improved pipeline, just where it was really junky and it needed replacing. And I guess 2 or 3 years ago they built a computer center and septic system that is in the center of the community by the schools, so that children can have internet and computers and toilets with septic. But now we're going to keep on going forward, but right now we're in the investigation stage. We don't really know what we're going to do next because we need to ask the community what they would like, what they need, what's up with all that. So we have video conferences just time to time. We'll let you know when. But that's how we get information on what we're doing, how they're doing, just keep it connection. At our meetings this semester, we're going to try to get some more grants. We run pretty much off of grants as far as money goes. So that way traveling doesn't cost us $5,000 a piece to go set up a $30,000 project. And there's cookies. And we have to write some reports, but there's also fun at the meetings. And this is pretty much representation of how it works with the community. The community will help us decide what we're doing in the first place. We'll do all the reports and do the calculations and see how best to proceed. We'll divide the cost They do a lot of the labor, the houses, all of that. And then when we leave, the community maintains everything we set up, and it just keeps on going around in a circle. We're going to have meetings every Monday at 7 p.m. in the Civil Building, room 104. It's kind of just in the main hallway in the Civil Building. It's an awesome experience. Keep a pretty good diversity as far as what majors are in there, but definitely civil engineering, especially if you know anyone on the upper end of it or grad students. They help us know what we're doing, because especially if you're freshman or sophomore, and for me junior, I still don't know what's going on. But, and you learn as you go, but the upper level is greatly appreciated. That way you don't have to go to a professor for every single problem that we ever have. But definitely come on out. I think we have a list. Yeah, we have a list up here at the end if you want to come sign your name and email, and we'll send out reminders about meetings, video conferences. Feel free to come to anything. I mean, invite anyone. You don't even have to be an engineer to be in this. I encourage anyone who's interested to at least sign up or swing by one of the meetings, or just keep on coming to general meetings. Yes?
I just wanted to know, how long did you stay there?
The last one was 2 weeks. Long enough to learn how to say some things in Spanish.
How frequently do y'all go down there?
We went this summer, we went last summer also. We went January 2012. It pretty much depends on what the community has given us as far as what can we do next. And there's a report cycle. We have to submit not a lot, but a continuous stream of reports just to keep everything going forward. As far as, okay, we're done with this one, let's not chill, we're not just going to chill out for a year. Well, we might if the community doesn't know what they want, but we try to keep everything rolling just to where we might have another trip in January. Who knows? It just depends on what we get, how fast we get. Anybody else? All right. Thanks again, and I'll be around after. I think we get kicked out of the room, but if anyone else has any questions.
All right, and next we'll have our local projects coordinator, Tyler.
Howdy.
Howdy.
So this semester for local projects, we actually have a lot going on, and there are plenty of great ways to get involved, so let's just take a look at a few of them. Oops. Okay, firstly, one of our ongoing projects lately has been the green roof, and basically what this project is that we want to put a green roof, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically a roof that has vegetation on top of it. So for one, scenery, it looks really cool, and it's also really good for energy efficiency. So we want to put that on the extension to Zachary to help for those reasons. And last semester, we tried to get the Green Fund to put it on top of Rudder, but it didn't really go through. But this time we're revising our plan, and hopefully we'll be able to do it. And it's really a great way. There's a lot of planning involved. It's a really interesting and fun project. It's a great way to get engineering experience as a freshman, just looking at some of these drawings and thinking about different things like how much soil can go on the top, low density, and everything like that. So that's one project we're working on right now. Nextly, we have the wheelchair ramp project, which is very new. And basically, we've gotten in contact with a woman in the community who is elderly and an amputee, and she's in a wheelchair, but the problem is that in her house, the wheelchair ramp that leads to her her backyard is becoming very unstable and is having a lot of structural issues, and she actually struggles to get up and down a lot, which is not a good thing. It could be a fire hazard. If she can't get out of the building, it's a little bit scary. But we've basically offered to help her out any way we can, and this would be great for any kind of structural engineers or civil engineers, because basically we want to redesign the ramp and rebuild as much of it as we possibly can. So we also need a project lead. I talked about this fairly recently. It'd be great. Ideally, it's people who have right now experience with EWB. I'd prefer to lead the projects, but even if not, if you're interested in becoming a project lead, you feel like you have some kind of experience related to this kind of thing, I'd love to talk to you. I'll be up front after the meeting if you guys would like to talk to me. So anyway, so that's another project we have. Next, we have the hand sanitizer project. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but there are a lot of hand sanitizing stations around here. But the problem is that they're all in study carrels or very weird corners of buildings that people don't really go to. I mean, how many of you have actually noticed that? Like, why is a hand sanitizing station here? I mean, just even a funny story. I was sitting in this room, and I was talking to this guy. He was sitting at a table. It was like a study room. He starts leaning back in his chair, up against a wall, and you just hear this zzz, and it literally squirted hand sanitizer into his hair because it was in such a weird location. And then there's been countless times last semester where I'd want to eat somewhere like Sabisa or the Underground or the MSC, and I couldn't get my hands clean because the bathroom was really far away and there were no hand sanitizing stations, or they were out. So basically the point of this project is stop putting hand sanitizer in people's hair and into their hands right before they eat. So this would involve a lot of getting in communication with the right people, and also just mapping out eating locations to optimize flow of traffic and looking to see where the best locations would be so that people can see them, they're visible, and make sure that people have clean hands. Because I don't know about you, but I really don't like getting sick during the cold season. So anything we can do to minimize the damage is great. So this is a great project as well to get involved in. We definitely need people to work on this. Nextly, one of our members who unfortunately cannot be here tonight, his name's Wilson. He's gotten in contact with the Humane Society, and with them it looks like there are several great projects that we can get involved in, particularly to involve living conditions of animals, because the Humane Society has a lot of chicken coops or basically cages that are in very bad condition, and they would love our help in any way possible. Another thing he talked about was, I don't know, how many of you have heard of Wiener Fest? Anybody? Basically, it's a wiener dog race. And basically, Humane Society, it's in October, so we won't be able to help out in time for the next race. But we're hoping next semester that we'll get a chance to improve the starting gates for wiener dogs in their wiener dog race, because they asked us to do that. A little off the wall, but it'd be a really cool project. It'd be great to get, you know, like I said, more engineering experience.
There's also a listserv that they've talked about, so you can just sign up in the front. We do have a Facebook page, and all you have to put in the Facebook is Engineers Without Borders USA Texas University Student Chapter. Send us a request, we'll go ahead and accept you, and then you can just see all of our updates, meeting times, anything new that we want to display, or if there's any awards, socials. You can also find us on YouTube. Some of the videos that you saw are online, and the rest of the things that we do, we also post. So if there's a meeting that you missed, you can also find it online. So talking about social, our first social is going to be next week. It's going to be on Thursday from 6 to 8. We're going to have a cookout. And if you want to bring something, you're more than welcome to, but all we need to is half you. So just show up. It's going to be at Hansel Park. It is outside of campus, but not too far away. If you still need a ride, you could contact our international head lead, and that's Paul Beasley. His email's on the top. If you can't read it, it's internal.ewbtamu@gmail.com. But if anyway you do need a ride, you can just contact us at any other places like Facebook. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys for coming. We do have pizza on the back, so please serve yourself. There's also drinks. If you want to talk to us a little bit more about the projects, please hang around. All of us are pretty knowledgeable. We'll have the polo t-shirts, and thank you for coming. Y'all have a great night.